Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
No, we didn't forget about you guys.
Hey-o.
We didn't forget about you guys. No. Contrary to popular belief. Yeah, it turns out it's fucking hard to do 10 plus hours of stream. What?
Hey, what's wrong with your mic?
I don't know. What's wrong with my mic?
I don't know. It looks like it's leaning over.
Oh, I thought you meant it wasn't connected. That was an unnecessary interruption. We didn't forget about you people. We are doing streams every single day. And also, it's fucking hard to, like, the turnaround time. If we're going to watch the games, which are basically ending close to midnight, then we're going to fire up a podcast that has a shelf life of just a few hours the next day. I don't know. I feel like there's people that are like upset with us, and I don't like that. Because I feel like we are putting in lots of hours to create content in real time. Like I saw that there were people that were like, well, I just missed the boys yapping. The boys have been yapping. You're not seeking out where we've been yapping.
Well, that's the difference. I mean, Jayhay and I last night, we saw a lot of people say, hey, like, honestly, this is a great exchange. If this is the exchange we got to make where we don't have a podcast, but we can actually check in over the course of anywhere from 6 to 12 hours and listen to 30 minutes, an hour, 4 hours. What I mean, anywhere in between. Like, that's the give and take that gets created during this stretch run. Because what would you do? Like, if you're a listener at home, seriously, like you said, your game ends at 12. We are then going to record a podcast for, let's say, an hour or an hour and a half, maybe. Maybe it gets a little girthy and we go 2. Well, now you're going to wake up the next day, and what are you going to do? You're going to chew on that 2-hour podcast between the time that you wake up and take care of whatever it is you got to do, and then the first pitch of the next game. Like,
is that 3?
Yesterday, the answer was absolutely not, because we had 4 games yesterday.
Yeah. It was just like, was the juice worth the squeeze putting out a podcast when the shelf life was realistically at some points, because, you know, Dallas is on the West Coast and then he's got to take the girls to school and then he would come back. It would be noon Eastern when we would be able to start recording. So we would finish at 2 and then the podcast would come out at first pitch like they would become outdated very, very quickly.
And then, podcast has to be edited.
Yes. Like I get it if, you know, it's part of your routine and we appreciate that you're looking for it on Spotify and whatever. But we're still putting out content in real time. It's just, it hasn't been the podcast because the turnaround times are kind of, they're tough. They're tough to keep up with. We wanted to come on, do a podcast after one team has punched their ticket to the LCS. And also just like it's not like the whole postseason that it's going to be like that. It's just for the wild card round and the division series. There's so many games and so much happening every single day. Like, once it gets past the division series and you've narrowed it down to the 4 teams, it's much easier to put out podcasts that you can. They're not going to become as I guess outdated as quickly.
Yeah, no, and I'll say, like, I'll be honest, like, I don't necessarily like how we have to go about this to try to do it timely, because I don't want to have to, here we are with teams, you know, finishing a game 4, getting ready to knock out a game 5, and now we're going to go all the way back in the Wayback Machine and break down game 1. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of tough for me to do. I don't have a ton of enjoyment in that. But I think it's okay to kind of hit on some things and, hey, this is where we're at. This is where we're going. And that's just kind of what the wild card and what the division round provides, is opportunities to do it that way. So, but I think we've had some action in these series early that have allowed us to, I think for the most part, be content with what we have seen and what we are projecting, what we're excited about. You got Skubal on the bump on Friday. We got a good matchup tonight with Sanchez and Glasnow. I mean, I think the offense for some teams has been exciting to watch. The disappearance of offense from other teams has been unfortunate. The disappearance of teams.
Yeah, I think I would say let's start, because I mean, I feel like if you're listening to this on Thursday or Friday, it's a nice little tune-up for what could be a fantastic Game 5 between the Tigers and the Mariners. Let's start with that series. Let's start with Detroit-Seattle, because I feel like a lot of people looked at what the Tigers did in the month of September, and they were like, it's only a matter of time before they get dusted. They are limping into the postseason. This is not a team that is made for this. They're not built for this. They got punched in the mouth, and they are wobbling on their way to stand back on their 2 feet. And here they are in a decisive Game 5 against a team that a lot of people had just penciled right into the ALCS and the Seattle Mariners, the way that their pitching staff had been going, the way that Cal Raleigh had been swinging it. But the Detroit Tigers are playing in a do-or-die Game 5 on Friday with the best pitcher on the planet, Tarik Skubal, on the bump. The caveat being Skubal pitched 2 games against the Mariners during the regular season, and they were the only team that kind of had the cheat sheet. They had him figured out a little bit.
But how'd things go last time?
Sure. But there is that history. So Game 5, Tigers Mariners in Seattle, Skubal, and the Mariners, to my knowledge, have still not named a starter. Is it going to be Logan Gilbert?
I think it's going to be Gilbert. Here's so just talking about their offenses, and just real quick to tie a bow on the Skubal narrative before that starts to become a thing. If we're talking about 3 starts and recency means anything, the 2 starts that you mentioned were in the regular season, frankly, eons ago, a whole entire season ago. The last start we have meant something, meant a lot. The biggest start against this team, and that went well. Maybe not for the team, but for the individual. So I think Tarik Skubal, again, pitching in a place where he's going to be very comfortable. I'm not too worried about those first 2 games and how they went, but I understand that they are part of the track record. How about these 2 offenses, though, fellas? Check this out. Just across the board, all right? Over this series, the Mariners as a group, 219 average. Tigers, 217. On base, 285 for both clubs. The Mariners slugging 387, Tigers slugging 362. The OPS for both those teams, 672 for Seattle, 647 for the Tigers. 137 at-bats for the Mariners, 138 for the Tigers. The Mariners have scored 16 runs. The Tigers have scored 18 runs. They both have 30 hits as a group. 5 doubles for the Mariners, 8 for the Tigers. 6 homers for the Mariners, 4 for the Tigers. 12 walks for each team, 38 strikeouts for each team. Each team has drilled a guy. Like, these offenses just, they're mirror images of each other.
Well, and it's also funny too, because you would receive that information and you would think, Detroit fought back, it's now anybody's series. Like, maybe and it's Seattle who's actually hitting substantially higher with runners in scoring position, right? So you intuitively you'd think, that's how they're getting by. So like, I'm with you. This has been a very interesting series. In some way, I think the Tigers have been succeeding in a way that's similar-ish to the narrative that was around their pitching side last year, which is we have Tarik Skubal and we have other people. And like, their bullpen has not been, like, I think their bullpen ERA in this series is 3 and change, but they've thrown, I think, the second most innings out of any bullpen in the DS, and it's the second lowest ERA of any bullpen in the DS. So that combination, I think, has been, a big part of the formula for them, and leaning into AJ Hinch's supposed strengths and all that as well.
Yeah, well, matching up, pressing the right buttons, and getting the results at the right time. Like that's what's going to make that's what makes the postseason go, is you play the matchups, and then it's just about, okay, how does that work out? Like, does the lefty take advantage of being able to see the righty on the mound? Does the lefty on the mound win the matchup against the lefty at the plate? Like, how those matchups pan out are a big part of how the postseason shapes up and shapes out.
I got to be honest though, that what I can't like get out of my mouth is the idea like of where Seattle, like they still have a chance to advance to the ALCS and make this a moot point, but they were up 3-0 in that game. And it was a Detroit bullpen game like that they ended up losing that game and lopsidedly as, you know, kind of salt in the wound. That could be an all-time missed opportunity for a franchise that absolutely is starving for a trip deep into the postseason. Like, yeah, that was there for the taking.
Yeah. And the fact that you are now staring down the barrel of Tarek Skubal and that is your pathway now. Like you literally, it's like, all right, what do we have to do? All we have to do is beat the Cy Young Award winner. That's all we got to do is beat the best pitcher in the game. We do that. And we're good. Oh, okay. All right. But it's been done. It's been done multiple times.
I guess it's not something that I'm looking forward to doing.
No. I mean, as somebody who has the Mariners moving on, like, is that who I want them to have to? No. Like, give me anybody else. Give me anybody else if it's about the Mariners getting to where they need to be. But like Tarek Skubal, like this is the example of pitching beating a good offense or, you know, timely hitting, whatever it may be. This is a dude who can go out there and just shut you down.
So the Aaron Judge kind of was on an island by himself in the Yankees loss to the Blue Jays is, I think, a storyline that will get some attention. Maybe not absolve him really of any criticism, but it'll get some attention. What I haven't heard as much about is the idea that the guy he's battling for the regular season MVP is also basically dealing with that in this series, because Cal Raleigh has been the only, I mean, JP Crawford has been fine, but of anybody who has gotten double-digit plate appearances for the Mariners in this series, Raleigh's is the only OPS over 900, and it's at 1188, and most of the team is in the 5s and the 6s and the 4s. Like, it's a disaster outside of Raleigh, and that would be an unfortunate way for this to go, because I feel like it would be pointed at as kind of predictable that the offense surrounding Cal Raleigh ultimately failed at the biggest moment. Like, I do feel like that's something in Mariners fans' heads. It is something they're prepared for or expecting. I don't know. But this is an opportunity. Like, Julio's had big individual hits, but the net result has not been much.
Same thing for Polanco.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the whole, like, the consistency here has been Cal Raleigh and JP Crawford for the Mariners. That's the consistency. Outside of that, it's been a big hit or two. And that is what has kept the Mariners afloat. That is what has allowed the Mariners to persist and get to this point. So, I mean, if they get a full, and I get it, it's crazy to ask for, but if you get multiple guys in the lineup, like you get a 2-for-3 day from Eugenio, you get your 1-for-4 day with a homer or a big double from Naylor, and you get Julio and Cal to do what, I mean, okay, now things look a little different, but you need all those guys to click. That's multiple cylinders firing.
I think the other thing too is we've pigeonholed, not we, I'm talking like baseball community wise, we've pigeonholed Cal Raleigh too much into the he's a home run guy category, when it's like, well, he's only hit one home run all series, and that's marked as almost a failure. But he's hitting 438 with an 1188 OPS in the series. So like, I get it. You know, 60 home runs and only one home run in the division series. You'd hope for more homers from the home run guy. But the idea that Cal Raleigh has gone MIA in this series is fucking nonsense. It's absolutely just false. Yeah,
it's you cannot. What would you have him do? And this is where, like, would you like to see that 438 average go down to 220 and tack another homer or two on there? Now, you might be saying, yeah, well, Dallas, we actually would, based on what that homer does for us. Fair. But what Cal Raleigh has done is he's provided power to an extent, but he's also provided opportunities for other guys to get the job done. And this is the game of baseball, where you have 8 other teammates in the lineup that are going to benefit from having base runners, from having the defense open up in certain ways. So you need other guys to perform. You cannot look at Cal Raleigh hitting almost 500 and go, yeah, but you know what? I need a little more. I understand if you want, like I said, you want another homer or two. Sure, everybody does. But this is the postseason where every at bat ratchets up. And do you think everybody doesn't know that they're facing the AL MVP hopeful in Cal Raleigh when they square off against him? Same thing about Aaron Judge. These guys, like what they're able to do with the stuff that they're seeing and getting, you have to consider that as well.
So what I'm considering is the aforementioned Cal Raleigh hitting 438 in this series with an 1188 OPS. The rest of the team, Crawford, Polanco, J-Rod, Randy, Suarez, Robles, Naylor. The rest of the lineup, they're hitting 196 with a 624 OPS. Is this not somewhat what we expected? That the Mariners' success would depend on the pitching and Cal Raleigh swinging it. And that's what we've got so far.
This isn't a DB I told you so, but this is quite literally what everybody who gave the Mariners a chance was thinking initially. I'm not saying I went one step further. My caveat to it was hoping that the pitching staff was going to be so dominant and create such a gap that the Mariners would say, let's go support what they're doing offensively. Let's go make something happen, right? Let's go bring in big gun. Well, they didn't, but they supplemented it to an extent, right? You lose Lowe, you bring in Naylor. Oh, okay. You bring in.
By the way, when the fuck is he going to show up?
Naylor. Who, Naylor? Well,
yes.
Same thing like Naylor and Eugenio. I mean, you brought in Naylor, who was going off. You brought in Eugenio, who was swinging it well, and what has happened?
They've both been MIA. Like Suarez has a homer. I hate to even lump in JP Crawford to that like rest of the lineup stat because he has actually been great.
You can't lump him into the rest of those guys.
That's what it's, that's what we're talking about averages. Like he's part of the average. The numbers would be even worse if you didn't include JP Crawford. But yeah, Suarez and Naylor combined 156, 487 OPS in this series.
Yeah. I mean, you could pick any other combination of a Randy, of a Julio, of a Polanco, of a Naylor, of a Eugenio. You could pick any three of those players, any combination of those three, and it's not going to be good.
No. J-Rod, not good. I mean, Polanco, even though he had the two homers, he's still hitting $188 in this series. Not good enough.
No, with Randy, Julio, and Polanco, 212 combined with a 241 on base. That's not getting it done. 17 punch outs.
Right.
That ain't working. Who do you want? Julio? How about Julio, Polanco, and Eugenio? Some guys who would be able to provide a little thump for you, right? A trio that you think, nope, 184 as a group.
They need someone other than Cal to step up. Like JP Crawford, you've been trying. Like I commend you for your effort. But two of the guys that they brought in to, like Dallas said, to bring some thump to the middle of the order, they have not done that. A superstar, supposedly, in J-Rod, he has not played like one in this series. Like the guys that have been here that they've depended on all season long, they need to step up. And all that being said, I think we could walk away from this being like, well, Cal can't do it all on his own. I don't think that's true. I think this game could come down to just one big swing from Cal, and that's all that Seattle needs because they're pitching so good.
And let's not forget, if Cal Raleigh is a chess piece that they choose to move around, and then somebody else steps up, Cal Raleigh being present has impacted that. So again, while it might not be Cal who delivers the fatal blow, him being present and forcing them to have to maneuver around him and make that decision is what gives somebody else the opportunity. And I think it's time that we hold Julio Rodriguez to that superstar standard that I know he holds himself to, but I think it's time that we start expecting those kinds of things from Julio Rodriguez. It's one thing to have your catcher produce the kind of season he did. I don't know that you were looking at Cal Raleigh perennially to give you that sort of production year in and year out. And I'm not telling that we're looking for 60 from Julio either. But I think we as baseball fans and as an industry expect more from a guy like Julio Rodriguez in a moment like this. This is a great opportunity for him to burst through that next stratosphere.
I mean, Julio is playing with fire here. Like, he's kind of getting dangerously close to, this is just who he is.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we're not far, or not that many seasons of underperformance away from being like, yeah, all those expectations that we had for Julio, I don't know. Like, I feel like the larger sample here is this is just who he is. So yeah, it would be nice for him to have a big game in Game 5, but I am sitting here anticipating Friday night, looking at the MLB script writers being like, I know that you want to, the voting for MVP has already happened. It happens before the postseason starts. But in terms of just like the fan narrative,
the aesthetic,
and if you are an MLB fan and you're watching this game on Friday night, you've got Tarek Skubal on the bump, and it's Cal Raleigh who hits a 3-run home run. The Mariners advance to the ALCS, and it's a 3-1 victory for Seattle. I mean, has there ever been a bigger swing for the Seattle Mariners?
And here's the argument, is you're absolutely right. Aaron Judge couldn't have done any more. But you want to know what did happen? Cal Raleigh did more.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh did more. And that's, again, the votes are already in.
Yeah.
It's already decided. There's somebody out there right now that woke up today and knows who the MVP is. But from an aesthetic perspective and from a conversation point, that was what this conversation was based on for a large part of the season was, well, let's see who gets where and let's see who it's because of.
I mean, in fairness, we'll get to that series, but I have a lot to say about Aaron Judge in defense of Aaron Judge. We'll get to that series later, though. Before we move on, Jayhay, who do you think gets it done in Game 5 on Friday night?
Seems like this series has been just when you feel like you have a grasp on it, it goes the other way. But I am going to pick the Detroit Tigers and Tarek Skubal. I'm not betting him in a betting against him in a 1-game scenario. Even if I subjectively would like to see the Mariners win the series.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to the fact that this game will be played in Seattle.
No, I think that makes it all the more tantalizing because while you have the home field advantage, and that place could be legitimately nuts, depending on how things go or at the start of the game, I also feel like, and Dallas can correct me, obviously, I feel like that does add a level of tension, though, for the home team, given the massive expectations and kind of stress that's involved from the Seattle sports legacy standpoint and trying to break through here. And so good and bad, I think, in a way, or just interesting to me.
Well, and I just want to remind you, and it's not I don't know that the Skubal contingent is going to drown out any Mariners fans, but Skubal went to Seattle University. So this is home. He's comfortable here.
Yeah.
Don't sweat that. Again, like 50 screaming Skubals are not going to drown out the other seamen surrounding him. But yeah, like he's home. And this is a
Dallas,
dog.
Would you like to take any kind of victory lap on Javi Baez being a standout offensive performer in the series for Detroit?
No, not a victory lap. Not a victory lap. I think it's more of just a because I was giving Jayhay shit early on. Just Javi in the role he could have potentially played in the heartbreak that Jayhay eventually experienced. And watching Javi just be a part of what the Tigers have going on for me is exciting because it's, I don't know. It's just for Javi, it's got to feel good because there was a point in time where I think a lot of folks had just looked at him like, bro, why do you even show up to the yard still? Like they could be better without you. They could be significantly better without you. And now I think it's fair to say that without Javi Baez right now, they would not be here. They would not have an opportunity to move on to the championship series. So I love the fact that Javi has been able to be present defensively as always, but also has stepped up and gotten big hits in some big moments. And to the tune of Jayhay, sure, he's not hitting like a Cal Raleigh 438, but he has gotten some pretty big hits and they have mattered at as much as anything he's ever done in his career.
Baseball is Dead is sponsored by BetterHelp. Today, October 9th, is my dad's birthday, but October 10th is World Mental Health Day. And this year, we're saying thank you to therapists. Hopefully, if you're listening to this right now, you're already in online therapy, so you have a therapist to say thank you to. I know I do. But if there's an online therapy platform that you're looking for, well, boy, do I have the answer for y'all. Life can be tough on and off the field. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories, millions of journeys, and behind everyone is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy, like learning to relate to your kids, healing relationships, or coping with loss, can change lives. This World Mental Health Day, BetterHelp is honoring those connections and the therapists who make them all possible, while showing how easy it is to get guidance from a licensed therapist online with BetterHelp. Again, October 10th is World Mental Health Day, and this year don't is shining the spotlight on therapists who truly make the world a better place. I don't know if I shared this story on the podcast, but I did share it with her. But I've mentioned plenty of times previously that this is my third therapist that I've ever had. But like sometimes if I'm doing therapy, it's not that I need a break, but kind of just like life gets in the way. And I'm like, well, it's been like a month now, and it'll be like compounding. Oh, it's been 2 months since I've like had a session. My therapist now is the first one that ever actually cared to like reach out and be like, hey, I know like we haven't talked in a while. It's okay. Like if you're not ready to come back to therapy, but I was just genuinely curious, like, how are you doing? And I was like, wow. So like, it really isn't just that I pay you to care about what I have to say. You really do care. And that was very nice. That meant a lot to me. And that's what you get with BetterHelp, quality therapists. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 12 plus years of experience and an industry leading match fulfillment rate means that they typically get it right on the first try. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time for their tailored recommendations. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally, and it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward, including myself. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners, the listeners of Baseball is Dead, you guys get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com/baseball. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/baseball. We also want to shout out Delete Me. Delete Me makes a big difference in your life. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone very vulnerable. Data brokers make a profit off your data. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details, and that can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy. With Delete Me, you don't want your name, your contact info, social security, home address, even information about your family members. All this stuff could be compiled by data brokers and sold online. You do not want that. The New York Times Wirecutter named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. I feel like we've said this a million times. Tyler Milliken, he is a prime target for this. You don't want your data getting scooped up by these hackers. You really, really don't. So take control of your data. Keep your private life private. Sign up for Delete Me now at a special discount for the BID listeners. Get 20% off of your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/BID and use the promo code BID at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/BID with the promo code BID at checkout. That is joindeleteme.com/BID, promo code BID. And then last but not least, what was it, last weekend? Yeah, it had to have been last weekend. Yeah, we went out for some drinks. And I have to tell you about the game-changing product that I use before a night out with drinks, and it's called pre-alcohol. And boy, does it work. Let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back like I used to. I'm in my mid-30s, even though Yankee fans, I'll never get over this. A Yankee fan on Twitter yesterday said that I was pushing 50. Let's pump the brakes on that. I am in my mid-30s, brother. But that doesn't mean that drinking's any easier in your mid-30s. It's really not. I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found pre-alcohol. And let me tell you, there is a surefire way to wake up feeling fresh after drinks with friends, and it is with pre-alcohol. This is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink alcohol, it gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. And just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you will feel your best tomorrow. I've already tried it a few times. It's something that I'll be going back to the well on, especially this off season. I don't drink a ton during baseball season, but in the off season, that's when we really enjoy ourselves. That's when I'll really be reaching for the pre-alcohol. And fall is here. That means it's time to enjoy cooler weather and some drinks out with friends, whether you're enjoying a pint at a fall festival or a spooky cocktail at a Halloween party, which, by the way, we are doing a Section 10 Halloween party. See you there. October 24th. It'll be a World Series watch party. October 24th, game on, Halloween costume party / game one of the World Series watch party. Very excited for that. I will be drinking at that, which means I will be drinking pre-alcohol before I go to that party. You'll be able to celebrate and still wake up feeling great the next day. Go to zbiotics.com/BID to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use the promo code BID at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with 100% money back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/BID and use the promo code BID at checkout for 15% off. Back to the show. Later tonight, there will be actually there's two teams playing today. One, both feature a team that went down 0-2 and was able to save their season in Game 3. Milwaukee leading the series 2-1. The Dodgers leading that series 2-1. On the mound tonight for the Cubs, I believe starting 9 alumni. Yeah, Matthew Boyd. He came on with the Tigers.
Yeah.
Matthew Boyd. Starting 9 alumni going up against Freddie Peralta, who had an outstanding season for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Cubs were able to force a Game 4. It's the 9:00 game tonight if you're listening on Thursday. This series has gone just about the way I thought it would go. Like I feel like the Cubs didn't limp their way into the postseason, but just the way that they didn't have much going for them offensively in September, it's again, like they're still a team that I respect. And if you told me they would make it to the NLCS, I'd be like, that's not surprising to me. But drawing Milwaukee as your division series matchup, I just feel like the Brewers are the better team. So far this series, they have played like they are the better team. They have the better offense. They have the better.
Their bullpen has been stupid.
So I'm saying, like you can pull names out of a hat almost, and you're like, all right, I feel good about this scenario bullpen wise. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's very hard to sweep any team at all in the postseason. So like the fact that the Cubs forced a Game 4 doesn't surprise me, but the fact that the Brewers have the chance to end this in 4 also does not surprise me. Jayhay?
I mean, the starting pitching in this series has been appalling. It has been just dreadful. We need to call that what it is. They've gotten 15 and a third innings pitched combined between the two teams and have allowed 17 earned runs and 21 runs overall. I mean, you really can't script worse starting pitching.
And one starter, Jayhay, accounts for a third of those innings, basically. In Freddie, one guy. It has been, but that's why I said you look at their bullpen. The bullpen's been solid.
No, and
the bullpen's been solid for sure. And I gotta take some time to shout out.
Please do.
To shout out the lefty Jared Koenig, who had an incredible year, had an unbelievable year, a workhorse out of the bullpen. I think he almost 75 games. I don't want to go back and look at it right now. 70, maybe 75, something like that. Sub 3 ERA, but he's out there blowing 100 miles an hour. Like that. That's a guy who I don't want to say you're not sure of what you're going to get or how you're going to be able to utilize him. But after you have the season that he did and he enters the postseason, basically a man on fire, like ready to eat. I think he's been a big part of what they've been able to do. But Uribe has been nasty. Mears, like just all these guys, everybody.
Well, and to what Jared was talking about earlier with the offense too, like, it's anybody's series technically, but the Brewers offense has been like, the Cubs have the second highest strikeout rate among any offense. They're hitting sub 200. The Brewers are hitting north of 300. Like, it just feels as if the Brewers offense, there's a at bat to at bat and game to game consistency, like a floor that can be relied upon, that the Cubs just feel like a roller coaster offensively in a way that makes me uncomfortable and just hasn't proven very successful against Milwaukee in the short sample. It feels like. So yeah, and listen, Matt Boyd, starting 9 alum, shot him out. I don't know how you can feel anything other than awful about this game as a Cubs fan going into this, because I mean, Boyd didn't even make it out of the first inning last game, and leading into that,
that was on short rest, but yeah, still, I get it.
Fair. Definitely worth noting. He had been pretty poor in the 2 months leading up to that as well, and I don't know, like.
But that's
Freddie
where
Peralta's
you're at,
beatable. Yeah. I didn't feel great about Tyone, despite how well he's pitched since his return from injury in last game. So that goes to show you that it doesn't really matter. But Milwaukee would seem to have the advantage on pretty much every level going into game 4.
Yeah. 8 of the 10 runs that the Cubs have scored have been in the first inning. And this is the first NLDS in baseball where each team has scored in the first inning each game of the series, which is pretty cool. There have been 34 instances where teams have lost games 1 and 2, and then forced game 4, 14 of those. 5 went on to a game 5, and out of those 5, 3 actually went on to win. So that's how that series is shaping up right now. Yeah, the offense for the Cubs, man. I mean, Pete Crow, so it's like PCA. MIA was PCA. And then
he's been MIA for fucking months. Like, I know, no part of this should be surprising to anyone. You could make the case he's been the worst offensive performer in this series.
But got a big hit.
A big hit.
Did it not help?
Sure, but like he in the first half of the season, I'll go back and find the date. I tweeted something to the effect of like, I could see PCA being like the main character of the Cubs playoff run. Like, he's that good. Let me see.
Yeah, well, it's because not only what you think he could do offensively, but the impact he can make defensively as well. It just,
go ahead, Jay.
No, while Jared finds that, I'll fill the gap with a thought. I just feel like when you look at what the Cubs offense has produced individually, it is almost laughable how cliche it is in that it fits what you think about the concerns for this offense. Like, Nico Hoerner's hitting .417. Fine. Put that over here. Nico Hoerner is one of the great bat to ball players in the game. That is, and great runners and scoring position hitters this season. That is totally fine. Could see that. Every other player, particularly with Kyle Tucker being hampered in some sort of way, you thought was pitchable in the postseason, right? Like that was at least my concern, was that all of these guys are talented, but I feel like with game plans and with the focus that comes in the postseason, most of these guys can get got. And with the exception of some Michael Busch singular swings, almost all of them, or if not all of them, early in the game, to Dallas's point, which matter for sure, these guys have all been successfully limited and pitched to in a way that just feels
Jayhay, they've had it shoved up their ass. Are you kidding me? Just say
it. No, you're right. But it in a way that feels repeatable to me if the Brewers are being given 2 chances to win this game.
Yeah, repeatable like blinking. Yeah, like that's how it's gone. That just it is what it is. I mean, outside of Nico Horner, shout out me for calling Nico Horner a stud who was going to be a presence for these Cubs.
Shout out you. I take it.
Yeah, shout out me.
No.
Nothing. There's been nothing. Michael Busch, 2 homers in the first inning to get the game going.
Those are his only 2 hits in the series.
Impactful hits. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Kyle Tucker. The Kyle Tucker arc. The Chicago Cubs Kyle Tucker arc needs to be studied in terms of like when he got there and the expectations that came with trading for him and the cries to extend him all the way to the pleas to bench him. Like I don't, what a long, strange trip it has been for Kyle Tucker as a Chicago Cub. In this series, he's hitting .222 with a .639 OPS. Do we still think he's hurt, or like what's going on here?
Well, so that's what I was going to say is I don't think you can, I just don't think you can blow past. What I think happens sometimes is when we become aware of injuries that have taken a while to heal or maybe have been misdiagnosed or have gone undiagnosed, it feels like once we hear about that, for some reason, we're like, okay, well, that's what it was. So he'll just be better now. Well, no, we don't. How long did he go through that? And how long was he trying to do things where he probably should have been resting? And how much damage maybe was done, or how much further did he set himself back by trying to just play through a undiagnosed injury, a misdiagnosed injury, or a poorly rehabbed injury, whatever it was. All right. But I think we get a little ahead of ourselves when we hear that once it's finally identified and then say, okay, well, moving on, he should be fine. Well, that's just not always the case.
I have a thought on that, Dallas. I'd like to ask both of you your opinion on this. So let's just use the Kyle Tucker example, right? And these are hypothetical numbers, but say I am 100 games into my season and I'm hitting .290 with a 900 OPS, and then I get hurt. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be a free agent. I'm going to make a lot of money. People are talking about how I'm going to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I could rest for a month and a half, maybe 2 months, and then come back and be ready for the playoffs and try and win a championship. Or I could come back sooner, still be in pain, have my performance suffer tremendously, but knowing that in my walk year, I played 145 games instead of 110 games. And I've built up such equity with my performance leading up to the injury that I can kind of let it bleed down. And it's like, all right, well, maybe in my walk year, now I'm going to hit like 263 with a 820 OPS instead of the 900. But like, I'm still going to get paid because visually I played. It matters more to play than not to not play, obviously.
The caveat is, do the other suitors have an understanding that the decline in production or the regression was due to an injury and you playing through that injury? Because now when you start to talk about equity, Jared, there's a different pool of equity, because now you're a player who will grind through it. And you're a player who, even in their walk year, is showing that I'm willing to do what I need to do, not only for myself, but for the team. I will find that middle ground, and that common ground in my walk year was for me to take the field and do what I could do to the best of my healthy ability. And there are other players who might look at you and say, I'm not willing to do that. I know what I have waiting for me on the other side of this free agent deal here, and I'm not going to jeopardize that. So if teams that are going after Kyle Tucker know that Kyle Tucker not only went through a misdiagnosed, undiagnosed injury or whatever it was, and was also willing to battle through that and play through that, they might be willing to forego really diving into we'll call it the latter stage of his season, because they're just going to chalk that up to knowing that this player was not healthy. And maybe they're able to look at everything else, all of the body of work prior to this 60-game stretch where he's terrible, and go, we know who this player is when he's healthy. We're not going to judge him based on these last 60 games where he was playing hurt and trying to work through something to help get his team to the postseason, which, hey, fellas, by the way, I fucking love that. I love that this dude is willing to do that. So you hope that that's the conversation if you're Kyle Tucker and you're a part of Kyle Tucker's camp.
I think we'll have plenty of time for extended Kyle Tucker talk this offseason. Sure, that'll be quite the narrative as we
some Tucker talk
as we go. Jayhay, does this series go 5?
No. Unfortunately, I'd love to say that it did, just like I'd love to pick the other way on the last one, but I have to go with what I really feel. I believe that the Brewers take care of business later today or later this evening, I guess. I just don't know how you can have faith in Matthew Boyd individually leading the charge right now, and I realize the hook will be fast on him if it's not working, but that already implies a deficit, and Freddie Peralta was one of the best pitchers in the National League this year, and I believe he's going to take advantage of the Cubs swing and miss issues and lead the Brewers to victory.
Dallas, I asked Justin Havens this question on Just the Nuts. I would like to get your take on it. Has Jackson Churrio's postseason performance had you shuffle up the Jacksons? Like, where would you go? Churrio, Merrill, and Holiday.
Churrio, Merrill, and Holiday. Man, it almost makes you. I mean, is it Churrio, Merrill, Holiday?
That's what Jayhay said, I believe, right?
And yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. I do. I'm sorry.
I think Merrill's getting slept on. I'm not saying you guys are wrong, but I don't think it should be as easy of a question as we're making it seem.
So just go ahead. You're throwing in postseason too. Like, and there's one guy that's still going, and he's leading the charge for his team, hitting over 500. So yeah, Jackson Churrio.
Just as an addendum, I don't think I said this the first time you asked. I feel like I'm envisioning a pathway to superstardom for Jackson Churrio that may not exist for either of the other players in my mind right now. And that doesn't, like, Merrill's floor may be just as high. It may be higher than either of the other guys. But that's why I would still take Churrio, because I feel like that's a guy who I could potentially hang my whole hat on and build the whole thing around.
Fair. I still feel that way about Merrill. Again, I'm not saying you guys are wrong.
I could be totally wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm not saying you guys are wrong or off base with your selections, but I do feel like it's not crazy to say or be in the camp of Jackson Merrill could be a franchise type player.
The only wrong answer here is Jackson Holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, respectfully, I'm not trying to be funny. He was on the pod. Great to have him. Would love to have him again. But right now, that is a tough thing if you're comparing him to the two other Jacksons.
Right. I don't even think he would advocate for himself in that discussion.
You guys ready? Little war games.
Okay.
Jacksons.
Oh, wait, these players?
Yeah, with Churrio, Merrill, and Holiday.
I think it's Merrill, Churrio, Holiday.
You think it's Merrill, Churrio, Holiday?
Yeah.
Jayhay?
Yeah, I think it's Merrill, Churrio, Holiday too.
And that is correct. Yeah. Merrill 7.3, Churrio 6.0, Holiday 1.1.
Yeah.
Holiday significantly less games, but still. What's that?
That feels probably correct, intuitively correct to what they've actually accomplished at the big league level so far.
Well, I mean, you remember like what was it last year that Churio, or was it this year? Churio off to I think it was last year. God awful start.
Well, Merrill got off to a slow start this year. Churio had like one walk through the first 3.5 months of the season.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. Still developing.
Yeah. The Underdog Fantasy app is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Dallas, how have your pick'ems been doing recently?
What's that?
How have your pick'ems been doing?
Yeah, they've fallen just a hair
not
short.
Good.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a 3 out of 4 guy, 2 out of 3 guy. Like,
Tonight's the night, though. Tonight's the night.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up tonight with
losers, you mean?
Not quite fully winning. Yeah,
I say both of you just take a stab at it tonight.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
How have your pick'ems been doing?
I haven't been doing very many in the postseason.
Oh, you just quit? You just shut it down?
No, not shut it down. Just trying
to regroup.
Got a lot to do.
Well, yeah, you can't bet on Aaron Judge to put
the straw that stirs the drink
anymore.
I can't bet on Aaron Judge anymore. You're right. Can't do it. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's Jared to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Okay. We've taken care of 2 series. Dallas, I didn't get your pick for this game. Did the Brewers finish it out in 4? Do the Cubs live to see it another day?
No, it's Freddie P. Slice and dice. Yeah. Way go.
Damn.
Cubs are hitting 189 as a team. The Brewers bullpen.
A lot of good pitching in October.
18 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 19 punchouts, 4 walks, 0.50 ERA. Opponents hitting 131 with a 185 on base percentage against anybody rolling out of the Brewers bullpen right now. Go get them.
It is what it is. All right. We get to the Yankees and Blue Jays series. Oh, man, it is with great distress that I deliver the news that the New York Yankees season is over. It's the first team to be eliminated in the division series. Very painful thing to have to experience last night on Just the Nuts. By the way, we're live streaming all these games. Come check us out. Dallas is in there. Jayhay's in there. I'm in there. Coley's in there. You never know who's going to pop in maybe as a special guest. We are just doing every single game, talking about God knows what. Sometimes, most of the time it's baseball. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we're just yapping. But come check us out on Playback, on YouTube, on Twitter. We're out here grinding. But this series was how do I characterize this series? It was domination until it wasn't, and then back to just simply being outplayed again. Like the first 2 games of the series, it looked like there was, I don't know why the Yankees would want to show up for game 3, but then Aaron Judge had a legacy moment, which I think I want to give Aaron Judge his flowers for the home run and the moment that it came in. But if I'm a diehard Yankee fan, I'm sitting here today being like, our captain, our franchise player, one of the best, we're going to retire 99 someday for this guy. And his signature moment was in the division series of a series that we lost in 4. How can that be? So, like, I think on one hand, you want to acknowledge it's a 6-3 ball game. Aaron Judge is at the plate. It's 100 miles an hour at the armpits. He turns on it, keeps it fair, 3-run home run, ties the game. Awesome. In the moment. That is awesome. Today, it's not to take away from Aaron Judge himself.
Not at all.
But if I am a diehard Yankee fan and I'm going to be the 27 rings and Derek Jeter and he won 5 of them and the dynasty and George Steinbrenner and the pinstripes and the ghosts, like Aaron Judge, I love you, but you can't, after that game, sit up there in the press conference and talk about ghosts. It's not the old Yankee Stadium. It's the new one. There's no ghosts there. There's just guys in suits that took the 6 train to Yankee Stadium after their fucking accounting job hour was done. They go in there and they just yell at Anthony Volpe to swing the bat, and then they go back to their fucking miserable lives in Yonkers. That's what we're dealing with. I would love for people to look at Aaron Judge and say, man, that guy is an absolute legend, because he is. It's not his fault. He's the only guy that doesn't deserve blame for the Yankees losing this series. He's the only guy that fucking showed up. He is.
I agree, but I've just listened to you basically equate his biggest moment as a Yankee, Jared, in this series to like a sack bunt in May.
I think Aaron Judge would tell you. Judge would tell you, we lost the series. What does it matter now?
Well, that's what he's supposed to say. Well, you're absolutely right.
Right. So I'm not trying to take away from Judge, because I feel like I am probably just echoing what he feels internally. Like, that moment in the moment was sick, but what does it matter now? We lost in 4 in the division series.
Absolutely.
But that's part of why this conversation, not this one, but the Aaron Judge isn't clutch conversation is so stupid to begin with, because he clearly has it in him to perform in the clutch at high leverage moments in the postseason. Correct. He just did all of those things. He performed in the postseason. This was the postseason. He performed at high leverage spots. He hit the biggest fucking home run probably in the postseason by leverage so far, I would guess, by any individual player.
Yes.
And he hit 600 with a 684 on base percentage in the series. So
almost a 2,000 OPS.
Yes, and I know a lot of those were singles. I know you wish the slugging percentage was a little bit higher, but fuck off. You know,
his slugging percentage was 933.
Right. So it's like, at that point, you sound like an insane person for saying you wish the slugging percentage was a little bit higher, which I saw last night. But like, he has it in him. At some point, it has to be the perfect storm. Your team has to be good enough. Your teammates have to show up in the moment too. Both of those things have to be true. And you have to perform in that moment like that. And furthermore, like, there are some things about this legacy stuff.
Your mic connection, Jayhay. We need to get you a stand.
There's some things about this legacy stuff that, like, that Aaron Judge can't control. 4 more teams make the postseason than it made the postseason when Derek Jeter was winning championships in the mid-90s now. Like, it is objectively more random, and it's going to be more random. The idea of anyone, let alone Aaron Judge specifically, winning 5 World Series titles in their career right now is less likely than it's ever been in baseball. And so, listen, I know that's what he signed up for. I don't feel badly for him. He clearly gets it with his answers. But at some point, we need to acknowledge that it's not a lack of clutch. It's not a lack of ability. He has done it. He has the ability to do it again in the future. He needs teammates and a situation that rise to the occasion with him.
And that right there is really all you can say about it, because for the Yankees, think about what McMahon did. You brought McMahon in to help, and in this series, he did everything that he could have done. Ryan McMahon, the guy that you went and got to play third base to shore up yourself defensively, was one of your better producers offensively in this series. To your point of, you need help. Giancarlo Stanton, 267, 4 hits, 4 for 15. Paul Goldschmidt, you got 4 at-bats. 4 at-bats, he played 1 game.
Well, and if we're doing the post-mortem here on the Yankees and what failed them, what you're describing is, I'm not going to say a lack of protection around Aaron Judge, but it is a lack of impact offense around Aaron Judge or offensive players. And they didn't choose not to have Juan Soto in a sense, because Juan Soto can make his own decisions, but they lost Juan Soto. They made a big deal, some of their fan base did, about how successful the plan B was, right? The Max Fried, Devin Williams, Cody Bellinger triumvirate. Oh, we'd rather have this, right? This worked out better for us anyway. Well, for a franchise that talks so much about championships or bust, or certainly not ALDS being losing out in the ALDS being a standard that meets any sort of criteria for the Yankees, I think you have to say that the plan B failed, at least right now. And I don't know how it gets better moving forward, because Max Fried delivered during the regular season, got out pitched by Garrett Crochet, and then was fucking terrible in his second postseason start. Cody Bellinger was good during the regular season, was not successful during the postseason overall. And Devin Williams was bad on the net start to finish. And so you are now going to lose two of those players via free agency, or you have to re-sign them if you want to bring them back. And Max Fried is now owed a lot of money. And I would like to have Max Fried. I'd still rather have Juan Soto. And their failures in this series, at least, are in part by having nobody else other than Aaron Judge to come through with the big hit when they needed it.
Well, the plan B, like you said, the plan B just did not work out, because you accumulated all of those players so that you could have them get you to this point, and then that's where you start to keep track, right? And Max Fried, 3 innings, laid an egg, not good.
Worst start of the year, Dallas.
Yeah, I know. Bellinger under 200 in this series. Like, they're
good defense, though.
Yeah, good defense.
There are franchises that could sell the plan B as having been successful, and I would buy it. I just don't think that works for this franchise. The standard,
not when you have Aaron Judge, when you have Aaron Judge.
And the standard is not move back 2 rounds in what round you get eliminated from the year before. And it's not have 2 of those 3 people, or all 3 of them really, fail you in the postseason, which is what you tell us matters at the end of the day. Yes, they had a good regular season. They still would have made the playoffs and been a very good regular season team if you swapped out those 3 guys, grabbed Juan Soto, and filled those other 2 spots. That would have worked too, and they'd still have Juan Soto. So I know that a lot of people understand that, but to me, like, there was a narrative on the plan B during the regular season that just didn't hold up when it really got to pressure situation in the postseason.
Now, as much as we think,
Jared, do you disagree?
No. And
I'm asking
as
Rocket
much
too. Like,
no, I think when I look at this series, I can't singularly place the blame on anyone. And I know people that I'm not placing the blame on. That would be A, Aaron Judge, and B, Aaron Boone. I know that every single year, it's like if the Yankees don't make it to at least don't win a championship, then everyone's like, fire Aaron Boone, fire Brian Cashman. But there's 2 individuals that I'm looking at specifically. Number one, and it might be unfair, Trent Grisham. I mean, that is a dude that he was part of that Yankee offensive engine at the top of the order, a ton of pop, get on base for Aaron Judge. People want to get on Aaron Judge for only hitting singles. I mean, if Trent Grisham's on base, those are RBIs, and they weren't in this series because Trent Grisham was not getting on base at all. Out of everyone, 387 OPS is the worst besides Anthony Volpe. I wasn't even planning on talking about Anthony Volpe because I almost like feel bad for the guy at this point. He's so bad. And I think if you're Brian Cashman, you're absolutely looking to upgrade at the shortstop position this offseason. Like I'm pulling the plug on Volpe. I know that's like maybe some people disagree with me, but as far as what areas can you improve the Yankees at, shortstop is the first place that I'm looking. I'm done with Anthony
15.
Volpe.
1 for
Jazz
15,
Chisholm.
11 punch-outs.
Jazz Chisholm, after all the shit talking that he did all season long and talking about he's a 40-40 guy because he has 40 homers and 40 stolen bases over the first 162 that he's played with the New York Yankees over 2 seasons. He hit 143 in this series with a 607 OPS and made the error that led to basically the Yankees season ending. Would the Yankees have lost anyway? Yes, but it would have been a 2-1 ball game if he hadn't made the error that directly led to 2 runs being scored. I'm not going to kill Giancarlo Stanton because this is a guy that has historically been one of the only guys to show up in the postseason for the Yankees. Like he's been one, like when Aaron Judge has gone MIA in the playoffs, Stanton has been the batter where you're like, fuck, man, I really don't want to face this guy. It was a very pedestrian, mediocre, not very good postseason for Big G. But
Second most RBI on the team in this series, Jared.
Huh?
Second most RBI on the team in this series. He and Bellinger.
So he was timely. He was timely, but overall not very good. No home runs. No home runs in the entire postseason. So if you're going to be the DH, I need to see more pop from you. And it was a 333 slug. Not going to get it done. So, yeah, I mean, the overall point here is that Aaron Judge was the only guy who showed up. So I don't want to hear about, the not clutch or, Mr. September or whatever. Like, he's just not a good postseason performer. He performed this postseason, and he was the only one who performed this postseason for a very just, I don't know, for a Yankee team that wasn't very good. They were good at slugging. You can point out all the Yankees' flaws this season and be like, this wasn't a very good Yankee team. Go look at the offensive numbers. They were good at launching homers. Can't take that away from them. They didn't do that in this series. They just didn't do that. It was Aaron Judge versus the world, and it wasn't enough.
And that's why I say, I believe, as much as we've talked about Aaron Judge being the one that has showed up, that's fine. There were guys who showed up on the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays just won this series. That for me, that's just that's how it goes. The Blue Jays won this series. They outscored the Yankees 34-19. They had 9 homers, 12 doubles, 338 as a group with a 373 on base, 601 slug, 974 OPS as a group. The starting pitchers for the Jays, 15 innings, 18 punch-outs, just 4 walks, 1.80 ERA. The pin, shaky, not great. Sir Anthony Dominguez, okay. But, I mean, between Gausman and Yasevich, you had 2 dudes who came out and rolled for you. The offense and Vlad, I mean, good Lord. 529 for Vlad, 9 for 17, 3 pumps, 9 RBI. A man on a mission. You could just see it. I mean, you could tell that Vlad was just, savoring every moment, every opportunity to step up and do damage and just drive the stake deeper into the heart of the Yankees. He took it, and he loved every fucking minute of it. Every minute of
it. Any other major takeaways? I mean, we haven't really talked about the Blue Jays, which I don't think is fair. Vladdy Guerrero has evolved, blossomed into even greater of a superstar than he was before in this series. 529. For everything that Aaron Judge did in this series, Vladdy was kind of right there with him. He outslugged him basically. 529, a 1609 OPS compared to 1618 OPS for Judge in this series. So for however great we want to talk about Judge being, Vladdy was right there neck and neck. He had more total bases. They had the same amount of extra base hits. It was 3 home runs to 1 home run. They had the same amount of singles. They had the same amount of hits. Vladdy drove in 9 runs to Judge's 6. He scored 5 runs. Judge scored 5 runs. Vladdy only struck out 1 time in this series. 1 time.
You know what's better than that, though, Jared?
What?
Striking out 0 times, which is what
Clement?
Babe Clement did.
Yeah.
Ernie fucking Clement, dude.
Yeah.
643 in 14 at-bats, 9 for 14. A double and a jack, 5 stakes. On base, 625. Like, it just is everything you would need or want out of a guy like Ernie Clement. He has delivered tenfold, it feels like. That's the kind of player, that's the kind of production. And Dalton Varsho, shoot, let's shout him out. Varsho, 438, slugging 1,000, 7 for 16, 2 homers. Jays came to swing it.
It's impressive.
And what they've done is they picked up George Springer, who struggled mightily. Just 3 for 17, under 200. He did hit a homer, but that was about it offensively. What's that?
Who?
Springer.
Clement?
No, Springer.
Oh yeah.
Clement hit a homer too.
Yeah, I mean, for all the love that the Stars are going to get, Clement, it was his coming out party. He hit 643. 643 in this 4-game set. Yeah, did not strike out a single time. Also didn't walk, but he was not up there to take a walk. He was up there.
Buddy ball was in play and it was finding holes.
Yeah. He scored as many runs as Vladdy and Judge. Drove in one fewer than Judge. Hell of a series. Varsho again. Shout out to Varsho. But those were the dudes in this series. It was a very top heavy. You know, I feel like I saw a lot of Yankee fans giving the Blue Jays lineup credit, and they were like, yeah, like they just know how to hit situation to situation. They know how to put the ball in play and do this and that. We're really talking about 3 guys: Guerrero, Clement, Varsho. Like those were the dudes, and they did you in.
Addison Barger was present though, and Jimenez. I mean, these are guys that are still delivering hits that are moving the line along, moving the game along. They might not have, done the damage that those top 3 guys did, no doubt, but still, I mean, like Lucas, 333, 4 for 12, 5 RBI. I mean, that's as good as Clement in terms of run producing. So you had help from a lot of different places throughout the lineup. When you now that I'm looking at it, think about this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, whoops, wrong one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Out of everybody that got at bats for the Toronto Blue Jays, only 3 guys did not drive in a run. Like that's the kind of timely hitting you're getting, and that's the kind of timely hitting you're going to need from everybody in the lineup.
Jayhay, did the end result of this series surprise you at all?
Well, I think I have to say yes, because I'm on record saying I thought it was very possible for the Yankees to come back and take 3 straight, given the way that the pitching had lined up, and that was just very wrong. So on some level, it surprised me. I also picked the Yankees to win the series, but I think what Dallas was describing in terms of the broad base of support offensively that the Blue Jays put out there, like that, the degree might be surprising, but that it went that way, I don't think is all that surprising, because that was kind of how they succeeded during the regular season. And yeah, it is an unprecedented series in terms of the level of contribution that multiple players had. I'll give Langs her credit here. 3 players with a 1,400 OPS or higher on a team in the same postseason series, minimum 12 plate appearances. There are only 2 instances of that. That's credit the Elias Sports Bureau. She was relaying that from them. But the 2023 Phillies in the NLDS with Harper, Turner, and Castellanos. And then this year's Blue Jays with Clement, Vlad, and Varsho, the 3 guys already mentioned. So yeah, I mean, it's very rare to get this high level of performance from that many people in the same series.
How about this? Here's what that trio looks like together. Ernie Clement, Vlad Guerrero Jr., and Varsho combined to hit 532 with a 547 on base. They slugged 1,000 collectively with a 1547 OPS. They had 17 runs scored, 25 hits, 4 doubles, 6 homers, 18 RBI, 3 walks, and just 4 punch-outs between all 3 of those dudes the entire series. 10 extra base hits.
I'm pulling up a stat about the Yankee starters.
What, they're pitching? Or their hitters?
They're starters. So, yeah. They're postseason starters. So, Fried, Rodon, all their starters not named Cam Schlittler. 20 1/3 innings, a 7.97 ERA in 5 starts. Everyone not named Cam Schlittler, who was good. He's a bit whiny and a bit sensitive. But everyone else, man, tough. What's the FIP? 7.97 ERA. What's the FIP? 6.46. So yeah, they still suck.
Yeah. Well, as far as the Yankees, put it like this: the Yankees starting ERA over this series, Jared, 10.67. It was the worst starting group ERA in this postseason. Blue Jays, well, they happen to be on the other end of that. Their 1.80 collective ERA is the best.
There you go. There you go. Well, rest in peace to the New York Yankees. We barely knew ye. Enjoy Cancun and go fuck yourself. Hymns. Yeah, hair loss isn't just about hair. It's about how you feel when you look in the mirror. Hims helps you take back that confidence with easy access to simple, personalized care that fits your life. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted, clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. No hidden fees, no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted treatments for real health concerns, all in one place. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/BID. That's hims.com/BID for your free online visit. hims.com/BID. All right. There's one series remaining, and that is the one that closed out last night's slate. It's the Phillies and the Dodgers. It's the first game tonight. It's the 6:00 game with the Dodgers leading this series 2-1. But the Phillies showed not a little bit of life. They didn't have to squeak one out. They kind of laid down the hammer. And again, I don't know. I feel there's two different ways that you can look at this, right? Like the Phillies did a lot of damage off Clayton Kershaw, who announced his retirement. And it's like, oh no, like they just left Kershaw out there to the slaughter, and you know, it's elder abuse. Like Kershaw was really good this year. Like straight up, like he was really good this year. And then it's like, well, but he sucks in the playoffs, and it's the playoffs. I don't know. Whatever your narrative is, that's your own opinion. But me personally, I'm not taking anything away from the Phillies. I am giving them every bit of credit that it wasn't just a win. It's not like the Dodgers beat themselves. It wasn't like an error that led to a couple runs and the Phillies got away with one and the Dodgers could have closed it out, but they didn't. No, it wasn't that. Like the Phillies were just, they responded. They responded in a big way. Schwarber with 2 bombs. The first one went out of fucking Dodger Stadium. It was they called it 455. There's no way. It was like 620. But yeah, it was a hell of a response to, I think, what some were calling a very bleak performance. Like the Phillies fans themselves booed them out of the building.
So well, let's start with Schwarber. Those are his only 2 knocks of the series. So good time to come. Needed you. Thanks for showing up. Mm-hmm. Those are his only 2 hits so far. So that's where the Philly fan frustration comes in. And I think, look, from an outsider's perspective, if you're looking at the regular guys to be producing, I think for the most part, are you not getting that? Like Real Muto, Turner, are those guys not performing? Bohm. I mean, Harper to a lesser extent. You talk about the power, Jared. You need to see power from power guys. We all do. No power there from Harp. Just 1 extra base hit. So yeah, I think outside of that though, Kepler, Stott, Marsh, Castellanos. Castellanos has 1 hit. He's got a double.
I mean, if you've already lost if you're banking on Castellanos to be an offensive savior for your team this year.
Well, no, I don't think Castellanos, you need to look at him as a savior. You need something from him, though.
What about Real Muto? He showed up.
Well, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. He's in almost 400 this series.
Got the party started last night. Jayhay, you have a thought?
To me, it's more about the Dodgers offense. I mean, I think you guys have hit it with the Phillies. I think we're getting kind of what we should have expected or could have expected. The Dodgers offense has statistically been the worst offense participating in the DS.
Dude, Shohei has been ass.
Yeah.
Well, the Dodgers, Jayhay, so collectively, Dodgers are the second worst team by cumulative average in this postseason.
And worse by
Mookie, Freddie, and Shohei combined are hitting 162 with a 468 OPS in the series, and they have the chance to sweep somehow.
There's your MVP triple head or three-headed monster.
Yeah.
Sub 200.
It's crazy. I don't know how they're doing it. To be honest with you, I don't know how they're doing it. Like Shohei has been brutal.
Bad. Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, you want to know what it's been? It's been, when you think about this, it's been timely hitting from guys. Like that's what it has been.
Sometimes that's all you need in these best of 5 series.
Timely hits.
I don't expect Shohei to continue to perform this poorly, but man.
I mean, it's crazy because even like when you look at, oh God. Yeah, like that's what it is. That's what it is. Because you go collectively with runners in scoring position, the Dodgers, again, as a group on the whole, not great. Bottom of the barrel.
I was going to say, it's just, that doesn't explain everything, right? Like it's
but it's just been like those hits that they've gotten with runners in scoring. They have mattered. They have been the deciding knocks. Because I mean, they're at 217 as a group, tied with the Phillies with runners in scoring position.
It's brutal, but still up 2-0. And I think we had the discussion on the stream about, which team that was down 0-2 had the best chance of coming back and winning their series. I don't recall anyone picking the Phillies.
No, yeah. I think Jayhay and I both said the Yankees.
Yeah, so nailed that one.
That was fucking stupid.
But the Phillies, I mean, you've got your best option right now on the mound to give yourself another day to fight.
This series could very, very easily go 5. Very easily.
It's got to happen tonight.
It does. It mathematically.
Quite literally.
Yeah, if it's going to, it has to tonight.
Are you going to be doing just the nuts tonight, Dallas?
I think I can swing by.
Okay. I'm very excited for it. Does this series go 5?
No.
Oh, you're a pussy. Jayhay?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Christopher
it does.
Sanchez, you thought that first start was good. No.
Yeah.
This one's going to be fully good. Fully complete.
Fully good.
The bestest.
Super good.
I'm with you. I mean, keep the Dodger bats cold, man. Like, keep them cold. Like, the Dodgers are begging you to fucking beat them, and you're not. I mean, outside of last night, yes. But that wasn't like the Phillies won 4-2 and like you kept the big 3 down. Like, no, like you bludgeon them. Can they win a close one? You've got your best on the bump tonight, and can you keep the big 3 down again to at least go back to Philly? Because I think the bank is going to be rocking for a game 5.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah. Phillies fans should respond in kind. If you booed them off the field when you guys were down 0-2, you should be ruthless to the Dodgers if the Phillies were able to come back and tie this series up, taking 2 on the road to get this series back to the bank.
It's crazy to think that the Dodgers are in a position right now to sweep this series, having been out hit.
Yeah.
That's the magic of 1-run wins.
That's it.
I need a big swing from Bryce. Like, he's had a very just pedestrian series. It's a 748 OPS. I mean, no one is really hitting. Yeah, it's basically Real Muto. And respect to Alec Boehm. I feel like there was just a lot of mocking the lineup when it's like, bro, how are we supposed to take this team seriously? We got Alec Boehm hitting cleanup. It's like, well, he's been okay. He's been all right. He's been one of your better performers. So
yeah, I mean, the Phillies right there in the middle of the pack in terms of overall offensive production as a group throughout the postseason, this postseason group. So
and he's taking his walks, which I like a lot. Boom.
Get on base. It matters, man.
Boom,
baby.
Boom. All right. Just the Nuts returns tonight at 6 p.m. We'll also be ready to rock on Friday for that Game 5 between the Mariners and the Tigers in Seattle, the decisive Game 5. Very excited for that. Hope you guys tune in. Where can you find us? On playback, on YouTube, on Twitter. We're streaming everywhere that streams can be streamed for the entirety of these playoff games. We are interacting with the chat the entire time. Jayhay is cooking up the Nuggs. We're ripping some trivia. Yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. Like, if you are a baseball fan, like, I understand if you're a BID fan and you're like, I just want my fucking podcast, but you're getting extra. Like, if you're just sitting there by yourself in your man cave watching playoff games, throw on the stream. It's basically like you're watching the game with the fellas. Like, we're all just hanging out, watching the game and bullshitting, and you're also getting a former fucking Baseball Tonight stats researcher giving you extra context to enjoy the game even more. And you're getting insight from a former big leaguer who is currently a Major League Baseball broadcaster. Like, on nowhere else on the internet are you going to get the experience enhancement that Just the Nuts provides for you every single night for the Major League Baseball postseason. So tune in. We appreciate we've got regulars now. It's basically like the local townie bar. Like, we've got regulars who are in there for every single game. Like, you start to know everyone by their government names in the chat. But the doors are always open for new audience. Come on by, check us out if you haven't already. We apologize about the infrequency or the irregularity of the podcast schedule. I hope you understand, because of just the intensity of the postseason, how many games there are, and the shelf life of a podcast episode. There will be more episodes after the division series because it's just easier to drop pods in. Yeah. But anyways, Jayhay, do you have any nugs for us?
I do. And I would just to follow on that, I've seen people say that they're not into that as a consumption method. I would and prefer the pod. I would just say that it really ends up being more like a podcast than like calling a game. We just end up riffing a lot like we do on the pod, very conversational. Javier Baez is the 6th player in Tigers franchise history to have a homer and a stolen base in a postseason game, joining Miguel Cabrera in 2011, Curtis Granderson in 2006, Lou Whitaker in 87, Lance Parrish in 84, and Sam Crawford all the way back in 1909. Vlad Jr. is the first player in postseason history to have at least 9 hits and 9 RBI through the first 4 games of a series, regardless of round. George Springer, he had a big sac fly last night. Tim Kirkchin loves sac flies. It's the first go-ahead sac fly in the 5th inning in Blue Jays postseason history. Jared touched on Anthony Volpe's shitty series in the ALDS. To reiterate, he was 1 for 15 with 11 strikeouts. In Yankees postseason history, the only instances of a single postseason series featuring 11 or more strikeouts and no more than 1 hit, other than Volpe's series, is Aaron Judge in the 2017 ALDS against Cleveland. In If you expand it out to all players in a single postseason series, instances of 11 or more strikeouts and no more than one hit. Pat Burrell in the 2010 World Series. Again, aforementioned Aaron Judge. AJ Pollock in the 2019 NLDS. Yordan Alvarez and Edwin Encarnacion, throw it up, in the 2019 ALCS. Nick Castellanos in the 2023 NLCS, which was mentioned by OPS earlier. And Anthony Volpe, again, in the 2025 ALDS. Quite a list there. Kyle Schwarber continued to move up the all-time home run list last night. Almost couldn't get the tweets out fast enough. He's now up to 23 postseason homers. That's only 72 games it's taken him. The all-time record, of course, is Manny Ramirez with 29 and Altuve with 27. They both did those in north of 100 games. For context, Kyle Schwarber's 23 homers are the most in MLB history through a player's first 72 career postseason games. The previous record for that was Altuve with 21. Aaron Judge, you may have heard, he had a great series. They lost. He had a great series. Aaron Judge's 600 batting average and 684 on base percentage are both the best marks by a Yankees player in a single postseason series, regardless of round, in the history of the franchise, in at least 19 plate appearances in that series. That 684 on base percentage, if you expand it out to all teams, the only instances of a higher OBP in a single series in the postseason in at least 19 plate appearances are David Ortiz in the 2013 World Series at 760 and Barry Bonds in the 2002 World Series at 700. As I said, Judge also hit north of 600 in the series, 600 or higher batting average in single postseason series all time. Fred Lynn in the 82 ALCS, Will Clark in the 89 NLCS, Mark Grace also in the 89 NLCS, Ichiro in the 01 ALDS, Ortiz again hit 688. That's the best mark all time in the 2013 World Series. And of course, Aaron Judge this year. And then little sad trombone, Clayton Kershaw, second pitcher in postseason history with at least 3 walks and 6 hits allowed, with at least 2 of those hits being homers in an outing of 2 or fewer innings pitched, joining Greg Harris in Game 1 of the 1984 NLCS. Kershaw is also now up to 32 homers allowed in the postseason for his career. That is tied with Justin Verlander for the most in postseason history. Unfortunately, Kershaw has about 80 fewer innings pitched than Verlander in the postseason. And those are the Nuggs.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In just mere hours, we'll be back in front of these cameras and these microphones to break down some postseason ball. It's another night of Just the Nuts. It leads off with Phillies Dodgers, Christopher Sanchez, Tyler Glasnow. Game 4 of the division series in which the Dodgers lead 2-1. Then at 9 p.m., Brewers Cubs, Freddie Peralta, Matthew Boyd. That series 2-1 in favor of the Brew Crew. Are we going to witness 2 clinches tonight? Some are saying no. Some are saying no. But only time will tell. Final thoughts, Dallas?
I'm really excited to watch Christopher Sanchez tonight. Because I think that he is on the short list of guys that I think can be a perennial threat to the crown that Paul Skeens currently wears and will likely be wearing again at the end of this season. So I think this is just another opportunity for fans who might not be as familiar with Christopher Sanchez as some of our listeners are to get really, really familiar with the left-hander, because he is a superstar in the making.
Jayhay, final thoughts?
Just that the more I think about it, the more I feel like when we look back on this run of streaming pods, the whole thing in person, remote, how epic this is going to be and feel. And I'm going to really cherish this cramming in of baseball talk, because I feel like, there are some things that we've all done together, or the two of you have done together, or whatever combination it is that we still talk about years later. And I do feel like this run of ball is going to end up as one of those. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yes. Yes, I am as well. We'll see you all there.
Wow.